Could you just update us on the situation with Sergio Aguero, please?
Tomorrow, I think we'll do a surgery in Barcelona with Dr. Cugat. And once finish the surgery, maybe we'll know exactly the time to Sergio will come back to join us and play again with us.
The suggestion is that it's not as serious as knee injuries can be, but it might be an injury that makes him a doubt for the Champions League. Is that about accurate?
I don't know right now, Simon. Sorry, but I cannot answer this one. Tomorrow after surgery, we'll know exactly when the doctor sees what he's going to see and exactly what he has done. He will tell us with more accuracy what the time to come back.
And just finally from me, I know you have a lot of options to replace Aguero, but you've spoken in the past about Gabriel Jesus and the way that he applies himself when he's not always the first choice. You expect him to be able to come to the fore now in these last 7 or 8 games and really show himself for you?
We don't have any doubts about Gabriel. The only doubts we have is because not one single player with this preparation that we had can play every 3 days. Now it's going to happen. We have 3 days. After Newcastle, 3 days. We have 4 days Liverpool, 3 days Southampton, 3 days Brighton. So no one player of this team can play 90 minutes every 3 days. So of course we have Gabriel, but you have Raheem can play in this position. We can play, even Gundogan can play in this position. Bernardo can play in this position. So we have different options. Not like a striker, but we can use him.
Okay, we now go to Mandy Henry from PLP.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Excellent. How impressed have you been by the way Frank Lampard has adjusted to life as a Premier League manager?
I think was an extraordinary football player and will be an extraordinary and will be an extraordinary manager. So he did a really good season, and the way he played from the beginning, I was delighted to watch his team. I realized when we play against Chelsea at home how difficult it was, the quality of the players. I think Chelsea is an historically and is an incredible club. Since Roman Abramovich took over the club, so Chelsea installing the elite from English football, European football. So, and having incredible football players in all departments, up front, in the middle, especially, and back, and always they are a good team. And with Frank, is not an exception.
Speaking from your own experience, Pep, as a young manager in a top league, what sort of challenges do you face when you're still adjusting to life as a manager?
Well, when you arrive as a manager, you have a passion, you have no fears. You take decisions without compromise, without the problems. So he has done with a give opportunity with the young talent players that Chelsea had, because his academy from the last 5-10 years always they work really, really well. And but he knows. So in the big clubs, you have to take results. He's in when we play quarterfinals, FA Cup, in the Premier League, he's in a good position to qualify for the next season for the Champions League. Like, he's one of the main targets for all the 6-7 top teams in England. And he make I think a very good season.
Just finally from me, Pep, you spoke about the challenge of playing every 3 days or so. How impressed have you been, though, by the fitness and the stamina of your squad so far in the first couple of games?
We have an advantage that now is going to finish to play between the first game and 2 games 5 days. So we could recover quite well, but still the team is not fit. And I don't know when he will be fit perfectly to play 1 player, 2 players, or 3 players, 90 minutes every 3 days during 3 or 4 games in a row. So I think this is not going to happen. And of course, you have players with some disturbing muscular problems after the last game with some kicks. So that is normal. You have to see day by day, game by game, the best players to play to avoid the injuries, to arrive in our two incredible important games that we have in the next period. Is Newcastle next Sunday and especially Madrid. Now and after that is just handle the players, the situation to qualify mathematically for the Champions League next season. That we have an incredible position, good position to achieve it, and that is what they have to do.
Thank you, Mandy. Andy Hansen.
Hi.
Hi. I'm just wondering what's the situation with John Stones now, please?
Is he already on the pitch training? It's getting better, and hopefully in the next days he can join the team.
And is Claudio Bravo back with you?
Yeah, he's training with the team too.
And what can you say anything about what Claudio's future is beyond the end of this season?
We are going to discuss next days.
Okay, just looking ahead to next week's game with Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp was speaking yesterday about the possibility that this game could yet be played at a neutral venue. Have you made plans for that, or are you confident this game will go ahead at the Etihad?
We will follow the instructions for the Premier League. So all the protocols the Premier League said we're going to do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Fred Caldera.
Hello, Pep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So obviously now you have, like I said, lots of options to play in Aguero's position, but Gabriel seems to me the main one, and he's been here for over 4 years now, and many people say that he can be the future for Manchester City after Aguero, that has his last season in the current contract next season. I'm confident that Gabriel can be the future of this club. I'm confident that Gabriel can be the Aguero post-Aguero in Manchester City.
Gabriel play with Aguero, being in the squad, and of course we wanna keeping. We are delighted what he's as a football player, as a person in the locker room with all of us, with the staff, the backroom staff. He's an exceptional guy. So he's a young player. So we are delighted on him. So we don't have any doubts with Aguero. Without Aguero now, he's injured, and we have two incredible strikers, and we're happy to handle them both.
Chris Mason.
Hi, Pep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi there. Question about just the three fixtures coming up in quick succession with Newcastle in the FA Cup, Liverpool, obviously Chelsea this weekend. How does that factor in for your team selection? Do you think it's going to be too difficult for any players to play all three games? Have you got a plan in place for lineups for all three now? Is it fluid?
We cannot deny we have one eye in Newcastle game. So no, Chelsea, Liverpool are prestigious and important games, but our game is in Newcastle. It's a final for us. The other, of course, it is. And we have one eye in this situation, but in another eye. So the team selection is depending the physical condition, the minutes you played the day before, the minutes are going to play. So you just take a look a little bit what is going to happen the next, not just in the game against Chelsea.
Okay, guys, if I could ask please for raised hands for questions in the embargo. We'll now start an embargo.